Greetings from LA, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, if you don't mind, I would very much like to continue on with our journeys, our discussions, our discoveries, and our explorations with respect to the recent releases made under a newly established sub-label which is called JANUS Contemporaries. As some of you may know, during this year of 2023, we saw the start of this really strong label focusing in on contemporary works. And these releases have continued on up through towards this time now, which is the tail end of this year, 2023. Among such recent releases is a Blu-ray release, which is for a film described as being from the year 2022. And the filmmakers are Jean-Pierre Dardenne and Luc Dardenne, also known as the Dardenne brothers. And the name of this work is, and please pardon me for my very poor pronunciation of the language, I hope you can forgive me, but it is TORI et LOKITA, or as it's known in English, TORI and LOKITA. The work, which is described as being from the year 2022, and it's from the filmmakers Jean-Pierre Dardenne and Luc Dardenne, also known as the Dardenne brothers. And this is starring Pablo Schils and Mubundu Joeli, and they portray the titular characters of Tori and Lokita in this very powerful and moving and very shocking work, quite confrontational work from the Dardenne brothers, the brothers Dardenne. And so I find this work to be, well, this is again upon the occasion of this Blu-ray, this JANUS Contemporaries Blu-ray. I'm watching this film for the first time. I have seen a number of the works by the Dardenne brothers. For example, there are already many works that can be found, say, on physical media releases by the Criterion Collection. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But here is the latest work by them released in this really great Blu-ray, courtesy of this sub-label, JANUS Contemporaries. And again, on this release, upon the occasion of this release, I'm watching this film for the first time, and I am in awe of this work. And that, I think, is due to a number of factors, including the plot or story structure. I think if we were to try to focus on that, we understand that we are in a modern, contemporary time and setting, in a sort of city or urban landscape in Belgium. And we meet quite immediately our two main characters, young boy Tori and teenage girl, an older teenage girl, that's Lokita, and they have this very strong bond for a number of reasons. One of which is they share this similar immigrant experience, being of minor age and having come to this part of the world via the certain immigrant route that is explained. There's a specific immigrant route that is explained in this particular film that has a lot to do with being monetarily in debt. One of the subplots is trying to get certain paperwork and development work for Lokita and other members of her family who are back home, and being able to do so or not being able to do so. That forms one of part of the crux of the many myriad issues that are being presented in this very powerful way in this film, TORI and LOKITA. But that's one aspect here. And as they are living their lives in the city, what it is they are trying to do to make ends meet, raise money, raise certain amount of capital, and that gets them involved in one form or another, with aspects of drugs and other aspects that involve perhaps increasing and gradual yet increasing levels of risk and danger, both psychologically and physically, and what it is they're trying to do to survive. The the one of the great sources of strength that is shown quite beautifully or depicted quite beautifully is the bond between these two, Tori and Lokita. They are very close. They care very much about each other. They know very much about each other. There's a sense and a kind of sensibility about them in terms of how they are perceived as being brother and sister. There is also a type of parental nurturing nature that they share vis-a-vis each other. So Lokita has a certain type of nurturing nature towards Tori, and that might be reflective of their age on the one hand. But the opposite is true. Tori, the younger boy, is also often shown to have a very nurturing and supportive and caring and protective attitude and nature towards Lokita. And that also further reinforces this beautifully rendered and lovely bond that is between these characters. And I must say, just give a quick shout. Point out too, gosh, what a great cast this is. The characters, Tori and Lokita, these are the titular characters portrayed by Joely Mubundu, who portrays Lokita, a 17-year-old character Lokita, and the 12-year-old Tori is portrayed by Pablo Shields. So these are truly uh, magical and so moving performances by these two actors, these two performers. It's and their connection is the heart and soul of this work. So Joely Mubundu and Pablo Shields, who portray Lokita and Tori. So Tori and Lokita of the title. What great performances they give. There's a naturalistic quality. There is a sense of watching something that is that is authentic, that is true to life, true to form, and that has a certain echo of heartbreak and also an echoing of longing and triumph. And those moments of triumph shown in the way they interact with each other, they have such a wonderful rapport, and that what makes their bond shine forth even more prominently, and that is giving a kind of lifeblood to this film that makes it very successful. Their rapport and their chemistry shines forth in moments when they are maybe together, singing. Songs become a very important aspect, and song in the lyric that is passing the time, also expressing certain talents that they have, but also expressing through maybe the lyric or maybe an ironic twist or turn about them, their longing vis-a-vis their experience, where they come from, and also how they're trying to manage their day-to-day existences right now, and what it is about the world that is trying either to help them or nurture them or support them, because there are avenues and elements of support out there from, say, local or municipal or government structures. But there are also elements of danger and threat and menace that are very much part of the immediate lives of these two young people. So where will they turn? Where can they go? What will happen when, say, things don't go according to plan, or certain bodies or structures aren't able to support them as much as they perhaps need in the immediate moment? And so there's a sense of the way in which bureaucracy is run. It's not wholly cynical, but it has a ring of the authentic, let's put it that way. So what are they to do? But there is a way in which their unity and their kind of combination together, as shown through the quote-unquote quieter moments, or the moments of song and singing, that is also a reminder too of their youthful energy and wonderful nature. And they are children, and they are trying to survive in this way that is also very it's heartbreaking. It's also very the fact that they see each other as signs of support and nurture each other and help each other. There is this that is very I mentioned the word heartbreaking, but also heartwarming. thus the title TORI and LOKITA holding such a resonance. That kind of bond, of course, is also quite emphasized when they are apart. And there is a way in which the distance between them, when they are divided, when the plot reaches those points when they have to be separated for one certain plot mechanical reason or another. But when they are separated, we see the effect that it has on the two of them respectively. Maybe one is trying to search for the other, or one is trying to desperately get in touch with it. Just, if anything, just to even just talk to them over the phone or something like that, just to make a connection. When all these very seemingly dangerous and quite isolating things are happening about them. And the risk and danger seems to be incrementally increasing as the moments pass throughout this film. But those moments of togetherness are also brilliantly rendered. But the moments of separateness are also brilliantly rendered, because we are reminded, or they are also reminded too, of how much they need each other and what it is they will do in order to protect the other. And when things become very intimate, very quiet, when things succeed and are the little quiet moments of happiness, they are both happy. When things become a little bit disappointing, or things don't turn out the way that one would have wanted, we see them trying to resolve the issue, or one trying to take care of the other. Or maybe when one is lost, the other's trying to find them. Or maybe when one is far distance, the other's trying to reach out to them. When one is in physical danger, their lives are being threatened, the other is there or to try to save this person that is very, very close to them. TORI LOKITA, it's the lifeblood of this work is that relationship, and it shines forth so dramatically and so emotionally, and it's times very. There are moments it just quite shocking indeed, and turns of events or fate or just luck or bad luck, good luck or bad luck. I mean, that's also seemed to be part of the game here. But throughout it all, or amongst it all, or that notwithstanding, they are always making themselves known to each other and to us, the viewers. Their stories are incredible stories. Their stories are there are moments of sadness and disappointment. There are also moments of happiness and laughter, and there are moments of quiet tenderness, and there are moments of hope, and everything in between. It's set against the backdrop of this contemporary, modern day time. It is said here, at least by the brothers Dardenne, Jean-Pierre Dardenne and Luc Dardenne, they mention a little bit later how they consider this work to be a very political work. And indeed, it does have that sensibility about it in terms of addressing certain aspects of youth and criminal entanglements, and certain specificities of the immigrant experience as embodied by the stories here of TORI and LOKITA. And the organs of, say, government and assistance that are or are not able to help where necessary and possible. So, and then along the way, we have this rendered so vividly in the context of this powerful story, TORI and LOKITA. So, a a triumphant work indeed, a brilliant work, a beautiful work, a very haunting work. This is the work which is TORI and LOKITA. So now let us speak about this Blu-ray release, which is what I have here in front of me. This is the film again from 2022 from Jean-Pierre Dardenne and Luc Dardenne, the Dardenne brothers. It is TORI and LOKITA. And upon the occasion of this JANUS Contemporaries release, this is affording me the first time to be able to watch this film for me. And as I mentioned before, it was a very overwhelming experience for me. The works by Luc Dardenne and Jean-Pierre Dardenne tend to do that for me. And so I find myself always so overwhelmed by the rawness of the power and the directness of the heart and soul that is twisting in both moments of joy, but also moments of pain and tragedy and everything in between. So I just want to make a quick shout out here before I continue on to some of the other works that one might find in the Criterion Collection physical media catalog. So I mentioned, for instance, La Promesse, which is right here, or The Kid with a Bike, the Blu-ray release here, and then also Rosetta and 2 Days, 1 Night, which also can be found in the Criterion Collection physical media catalog. And also make mention of these two because it's a nice transition to the supplements, because as with other Janus Contemporaries releases, we've had sometimes mostly one, but sometimes two. Here we have one supplement plus a trailer. And so here's the Blu-ray disc, which is already in the player, and it shows the menu, and I have Play the Movie, and then Meet the Filmmakers, and then the trailer. So Meet the Filmmakers is what it sounds like here, which is a one-on-one, or sorry, a two-on-one, because it's a sit-down discussion between, or with the two of them, the Dardenne brothers, Luc Dardenne and Jean-Pierre Dardenne. And it's a 24-minute discussion where they're speaking here about TORI and LOKITA, but also taking into consideration a number of their works beforehand, both their feature film works, and I do mention that they describe TORI and LOKITA as their 12th feature film. So it does remind us of the very prominent and powerful career up to TORI and LOKITA, and indeed including TORI and LOKITA. But it also reminds us too of their documentary work. So. And so there's an interesting overlap and collision course, shall we say, between these two spheres of filmmaking approach, which in the hands of the Dardenne brothers, it has a certain sense of a collective unity. And then they draw their attention, or they draw our attention to aspects of the casting and an interesting way in which the cast was found, in particular Pablo Shields and Mundu Joeli for the roles of TORI and LOKITA respectively, and how working with them they had an interesting rapport and they found their chemistry in them rehearsing the roles. And also talking to about, again, mentioning how this is a political film for them, mentioning how this came about, and reading certain news stories about the immigrant children experience as set forth in certain news stories that they read in the context of Belgium, and also that leads into other ideas that they had earlier, perhaps dealing with family, and a matriarch figure was involved at some point early on in one of the stories that they had. But then when it came time ultimately to make TORI and LOKITA the film here, how it focused in on these two children, who are oftentimes thought of both by people around them and perhaps even by themselves as well, as being brother and sister. So there is that kind of family dynamic element that is introduced both in substance as well as in form, perhaps, as a manner of speaking. They also speak too about the importance of objects and props in the context of TORI and LOKITA, but how it's also shown in other works that they have made. And the like. So just keep that in mind too. This sit-down discussion also serves as a type of wonderful introduction into the world of Luc Dardenne and Jean-Pierre Dardenne. So it's a wonderful reminder of their previous work, and also certain linkages that can be said to be existing between and among those earlier works and TORI and LOKITA. And that also includes references to their early documentary works, I should say. There's also discussion here about the sound design and how it's very intricately layered sounds. I mean, footsteps are remarked upon, and how this is also linked to certain scenes that might be found in earlier Dardenne works as well, the importance of sound design, the importance of objects and the like. And also they speak to about other film inspirations and references throughout their career. They make quite prominent note of a work by a filmmaker named Mizoguchi, and the film is known in English as Sancho the Bailiff. So I was very happy to see that reference there being made, and also mentioning to the importance of songs in the context of Tori Lokita's story, etc. So this is a brilliant discussion. Sit down with the two of them, the Dardenne brothers, and a reminder too of their earlier works, as well as a great discussion of Tori and Lokita. And so this is great. This is a really great, informative set of comments from the two of them. Wonderful stuff. This is totaling 24 minutes, so please check it out if you can. And then that's not all, because then we have a trailer, which is one of these trailers which clips from quotes from reviews that are laudatory in terms of this work. So it has that effect there, the trailer. So that, and then also an option to control or set up the subtitling, turn it on or off from the menu, or you can obviously do that with the remote control as well. And then I've removed the insert, which is again this single page, single folded insert, which has on one side pictures, and then on the other side a 2-page essay, again also by Michael Joshua Rowan, which is Tori and Lokita, No Safe Harbors. I'm a big fan of these essays. And they're really great to read, especially, I mean, I feel that way in particular about this essay and the other essays in the Janus Contemporaries lineup, because I'm watching these films for the first time. So this is quite brilliant indeed. So I would say watch the film first, and then you can enjoy reading this great essay, Tori and Lokita, No Safe Harbor. So please check it out if you can. And so that concludes my discussion here of this another great Janus Contemporaries release of this time of the Dardenne brothers' work, Tori and Lokita. So please check it out if you can. I very much encourage you to check this out. This is a great film. Another great edition of another Dardenne brothers film into the Criterion Collection or the Janus Contemporaries physical media collection and the like. It's a great lineup. So I'm looking forward to more of these releases going forward. So this is Tori and Lokita. All right, my dear friends, so that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well. And please keep on watching a lot of great movies, including Tori and Lokita, including other works by the Dardenne brothers, including other works in the Janus Contemporaries lineup, Criterion Channel, Criterion Collection, and beyond. So until the next video, my dear friends, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.